Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar on the MSc in Hospitality Management Program, which we call IMHI. Joining me today, if we could go to the next slide, I am not alone. We have one of our alumni and our current students who are going to introduce themselves because they're the most important people here. Bastien, would you like to start us off, please?
Yeah, thank you, Patti. Hi, everyone. So my name is Bastien. I'm calling you tonight from Hong Kong. I'm about to, or we are about to celebrate the year of the ox starting tomorrow. Hopefully it will be a much better year than the year of the rat, which has been quite challenging for everyone, I guess, and is still, unfortunately. The good news is that everybody is saying that the year of the ox should be much better in China and in Asia in general. So hopefully it will come to you soon as well.
Welcome everyone, my name is Antoine and I'm a second year student currently enrolled in the MSc. I'm a former BDS student at the Luxury Hotel School of Paris and I have been working at La Réserve Paris as an apprentice in the food and beverage department before my one-year bachelor's degree in business management. At this stage, I wanted to complete my studies with the high-level training, and that's why I joined ESSEC in the corporate quarters in finance for my first year of IMHI in Apprenticeship. And during last summer, I was offered a position in a hospitality and design company, which is Remanagement, where I'm working as a project manager. I'm also an active member of the Student Association as head of communication and ambassador for IMHI. We have a lot of work for IMHI. Patti, if you want to take over.
Yeah, thank you. So we can go to the next slide. There's a lot of advantages to the IMHI program, and it's not really for me on the program to start. I would prefer perhaps Bastien and Antoine elaborate on this, but it really is to accelerate your international career. The Alumni Network, and we'll speak about that later, worldwide is always there to help you. The diversity on the cohort, we're continuing to encourage that with our partnerships with Indian hotel companies, Sarva Hotels, and more. And then in addition to, of course, finding your life partner, we often have IMHIs that years later marry between themselves or get married during the program. That we'll give a chance to Bastien and Antoine to talk about this in a minute. So we can go ahead into the next slide. Just to give you a little bit of background on the program, this year is celebrating the 40 years of IMHI. The September 2021 will be this 40-year anniversary of our first cohort on IMHI. It's a 21-month program taught in English with one intake in September. The program is offered in France with the option to do 2 terms at Boston University. We'll talk about that in a minute. With 2 tracks, internship and apprenticeship, and 5 concentrations, perhaps a new one starting in the fall. We've just added a major in sustainability this year, and we're looking into adding F&B for September 2021. Go to the next slide. So I would like to actually give Antoine a minute and Bastien chime in to talk a little bit about the cohort, the class profile, and what it's like to be IMHI.
Yeah, this year we are around 50 or 60 per class each year, which allows us to have a real cohesion between us. And there is almost 20% of international students in the class of 2022.
Yeah, that's a great advantage of IMHI. Obviously, when I did IMHI, I actually started in the 2-year program, and then I moved in the middle onto the 1-year program, and that gave me the opportunity as well to spend time with a lot of classmates who had already a lot of work experience, who were coming from various countries. And before that, having done everything, all my school years in French, that was an amazing opportunity to improve my English, and in a real business context. So that's something that's great. And the other thing is, obviously, when you join a program like an MBA, it's a very different mentality than what you may have been doing before. and I could feel that. I mean, I've done the hotel school in Lausanne before, but the MBA is really like for people who really want to learn more and get a higher level of education. So it really requires people to take a lot more initiatives, because at the end the professors are there for you, but if you just want to cruise through the program, you can probably, but you won't take full advantage of it. So having people who have that same motivation to learn more, to share, and to progress or to get on the fast track on their career, that's really an amazing setup at IMHI.
Let me just clarify by saying at the origin, the IMHI program was an MBA. It has moved into an MSc. The difference between the two is for the MBA, it's a difference. The professors have remained the same. Bastien knows this. We've still got Bob Kastner on there, who scares the heck out of everybody. The difference is that in order to qualify for an MBA or even a master's, you need 65% of your core professors that have to be ESSEC professors. The IMHI program calls upon experts from all around the world. So we have professors now that fly in from all around the world that are experts in their domains, which unfortunately means that for a technical reason we don't qualify, but the level of the education still remains the same. So hopefully we'll be able to recruit professors that want to stay as professors of ESSEC to get that expertise for hospitality back on the ESSEC board. Until then, we do call upon professors from the United States, from Korea, from the United Kingdom, from Ireland, from everywhere you can imagine to come in and talk about their expertise on a certain subject. Can we go to the next slide, Sapna? Next slide. Okay, a
Yes.
tailor program to your needs and goals. This is more for Bastien and Antoine to speak about.
Yes, just a few words on the course program. It's a really very comprehensive program ranging from finance to concept development, including real estate and revenue management. In short, it's a course that gives you a huge insight of the professions offered by the hotel industry and even beyond. You can really make your own tailor-made schedule. If you wish to choose a concentration, you have to take the specific courses for this concentration over the 2 years. These called electives, which means that they are not compulsory. You also have access to the graduate courses, which means that you have a wide range of courses available depending on what you like and what you want to specialize in.
No, you're right, Antoine, and I agree with everything you just said. The key highlight for me during that year spent at IMHI was really the concentration and the ability to choose exactly where I wanted to head to. Patti referred to Bob Kastner. Now, for people who love numbers, you're gonna love him. For people who are a bit scared of numbers, it might be a bit painful, but at the end you usually end up loving numbers. So don't be too worried. And obviously the last highlight of your course, the MSc program is that consultancy project, and that offers you the opportunity to really get into a real life consultancy role with a real company, and that's obviously something that not all the programs can offer. So that's a great advantage as well.
So, Seth, now we can go to the next slide. Okay, I'll just say a few words on Boston University. This year marks their first year of a double certificate program that we offer with Boston University. Boston University has an expertise in hospitality that's bar none in the United States. This program allows you to go in the second and third term to the United States, learning side by side with American students from Boston University, and do the summer internship program working for an employer in the United States. As you may or may not know, we have a large network of alumni in the United States. The GM of the Pierre is waiting for applications for summer internships. He's a graduate of our program as well. Now, given the pandemic this year, unfortunately, none of our students felt confident to travel, so we've created other virtual events. We have been invited to Dean's Lecture Series from Boston University doing virtually. We're collaborating on several hospitality papers, and then we're going to be doing Zoom networking sessions between the Boston University students and our own students based in Cergy. So we can go to the next slide. So accelerate your career in hospitality. Bastien, this is really your domain. You're an alumni. Antoine, feel free to chime in if you have anything to say about careers, opportunities, what you can do post EMI.
Thanks, Patti. That really goes in hand with what Patti mentioned at the beginning of that presentation regarding the network. When I got out of the program, I met actually during the program my future wife at that time, who came from Singapore to study at IMHI, and obviously at the end of the program, we were trying to find a job in the same country, and thanks to the network, I was able to find my first job in Singapore, where an alumni was working, and you will see him on one of the next slide. He's working at Marina Bay Sands, the casino, and so that's really thanks to that connection that I was able to unlock that opportunity. Now, the other thing that really I think is a booster for the career by going through a IMHI program is that it really teaches you how to really work and bring contribution to your first position after you get out of the school. You have a complete different mindset, and you really turn around what you may have learned before that, and give you an edge over everybody else who might be starting in their first job right after. So that really is something that is great. And as you can see on that slide, you don't necessarily end up in the hotel or the hotel industry. It might be in finance, real estate, restaurant or food service. I mean, there is really a vast opportunities with that program that is really recognized around the world.
Next slide, Sapna. Oh, well, this is definitely your domain, Bastien and Antoine. This is definitely you.
So you see Monique Tucker on the top row on the right. He was at IMHI in 1999, and it was very. I mean, that's the other thing. Once you have a network, you need to really take advantage of it, and people who are in the network are always willing to help. Now, obviously, it's what we say in sales. It's better to get 99 no and 1 yes than not getting neither a no or a yes by not trying anything. So one advice that I have is, once you get into the program, once you're out looking for a job, reach out to people, and you will have alumni looking to help graduate, because obviously they all have fond memories, I'm sure, of their time at IMHI.
Antoine, would you like to talk a little bit about Maud?
Yeah, I can say a few words about Maud Richard, who is our godmother for my cohort. She's very involved in the program and invested in her role as a class mentor. She's actually one of the partners of the Alberon company, which is a management and real estate expertise company in the hotel industry, created by 4 IMHI alumni. And we meet with them several times a year for industry leaders conferences when we need advice on our career orientations or to find an internship. And everyone knows that the hotel business is a huge network, and you need to take benefit from this, definitely.
Just one more aspect with connecting alumni and industry leaders. Second-year students, as part of their Talent Center offering, have starting January, February, and March one-to-one sessions with Jean-Gabriel Perez, former CEO of Movenpick Hotels, who's really there to listen to their career goals and connect them one-to-one with our extensive network of alumni. I may be so bold as to say anybody who's anybody in the hospitality industry is an IMHI. Can we go to the next slide, Sapna? Alumni Association, there you go. That's exactly what we just talked about. I think, and Antoine and Bastien can speak more on this, one of the most important events is the monthly get-togethers. Get-togethers, when we could do it before Corona, would have between 50 and 100 alumni who would come in Paris every month. Now, the Alumni Association is organizing online events, and Antoine organized the gifts and the prizes for our last get-together. Did you want to say a few words about that, Antoine? It was a very successful Zoom session.
Yes, we try to find solution to virtual solution instead the get-togethers that we had last year. It's a very good association with more than 1,700 alumni, always ready to share a drink or to meet new people, to meet together. It's really nice to take advantage of this.
Next slide, Stefan. So just a few words on briefly on career network development. We do have a talent center based within the program. It's not an offering this school-wide, so we have a chance to tailor everything to IMHI needs. We also have a duo with our academic director. We have a director of corporate relations, Joanna Wagner, who is there to bring in corporations not only into the classroom, but into the hiring events as well. We have hiring events online, unfortunately, because we can't do it in person. Our first event online, it's organized by Junior IMHI in February for all of our IMHIs that are looking for internships, that are on that internship track. And then we will have hiring for our second year, such as Antoine, who will be on the job market in June. We'll have that event in June. We always do it in partnership with our junior IMHIs and our corporate partners. In addition to mock interviews, CV books, we have new tools in place to help with artificial intelligence and data sweeping on CVs, such as VMock. So if you have any questions on that, please do reach out, and we're happy to help you. Next slide. So strategic partnerships, the proof in the pudding is everybody that you see here comes from our alumni network. Bastien's here from Hyatt as well. It's very strong, and you can count on them. I think the word, and Bastien, Antoine, please correct me if I'm wrong, is bienveillance. Everybody's really there in terms of alumni and anybody that's near or far from the IMHI program. Excellence and bienveillance when it comes to taking care of you and your needs as a student that perhaps is looking for an apprenticeship, an internship, a mentor, or a job afterwards. Feel free, guys, to add anything you want to say about our partnership and industry leaders.
Yeah, the other thing that is important to keep in mind is obviously right now the situation is not easy. I think we are all aware of it. However, hotel companies continue to grow. They continue to open more and more hotels. So that also means that they are looking for future talent and new talent. So it's not because obviously we have quite a bad step back right now that the word stop moving. So it will come back, and there are a lot of opportunities. I mean, obviously, I'm talking on. I'm working with Hyatt, so I know what's happening with Hyatt, and I can tell you that the company is growing and will continue to grow all around the world, and especially in Asia. That's also the reality is that Asia is obviously booming at the moment.
Next slide. There we go. So here's the information on application requirements and rounds. Feel free to reach out to any of our ambassadors, including Antoine, if you have questions on this. Come prepared for the interviews. The interviews happen with current second-year students, and alumni, and someone from the program. And do your homework. Make sure you know what IMHI is, the spirit of IMHI, before you apply, because we will ask you questions during the interview on who you've been in contact with. And if you don't know anything about IMHI, you're not going to learn it while you're here, so make sure you know it. Next slide. Okay, there we go. Oh, here we go. These are not my photos. I will not say a word. Please, Bastien, Antoine, these are not my photos.
That's probably the most important of that whole presentation, is that you will have a lot of fun at IMHI. It's a small program. You obviously, if you come from far, or even if you come from elsewhere in Europe, you have student accommodation, everybody's living together, and you work hard, but trust me, you also play hard, so that's really a key highlight as well of the program. And you might find your life partner. That's also very important.
It's not a joke. It's actually true. That was one of the first things I learned about IMHI when I was starting off. Yes. My goodness. I think our head of corporate relations, Joanna, found her partner on IMHI too, if I'm not mistaken. Antoine, you want to talk about your team of ambassadors, the Équipe de Choc?
Yes, sure. We are a team of 3 students. I'm a second year, and I'm assisted with 2 girls in first year students. We feel free to ask questions, any questions you may have. Do not hesitate to reach out to us. We already received more requests, and we are very glad to help you in your application.
I think we have one more slide perhaps for questions. Is that the new one? Yes, thank you. So type your questions in the chat box and we will answer them live. How can we help you? You guys have a great panel of people here. You have alumni, a current student, and me who takes care of paperwork. So how can we help you answer any questions you may have about the program?
We have a first question. How easy is it to find a job with the COVID situation in the hospitality industry?
Who would like to take a shot at that one? I can fill in if you...
Well, maybe I can take a try at this. It all depends. It all depends how you approach that, basically. If you have a very open mind, and if you tell yourself, okay, I want to, that's my first job, I need to find something where I can basically get in and then move on from there. I think it's still pretty not easy, but I would say feasible. If you take the other way and say, well, that's what I want to do, and there is no other way I want to do anything else, things becomes a bit more challenging, obviously. There is also a matter of where you're looking for a job. I can tell you, I mean, I'm based in Hong Kong right now. We have been hit by COVID, the first one, starting with China. Since then, there are a lot of countries that have started to recover. A lot of countries that have strong domestic business. And you again, as I mentioned, you have hotels that continue to open in those countries. So they are definitely, and we are definitely looking for future talent of the hospitality industry. So it's not an impossible task, even with the current situation.
I can only echo that, and by saying that that's where our talent center team is there also to filter out. If we have a student saying, I want to go into hotel development, we're going to say, perhaps wait a couple of years to do that one. But there's other areas and pockets of opportunity that you can find. Last year when COVID hit hard, our second year students, so when Antoine was a first year, we had a series of Zoom sessions with alumni from all around the world. There was over 22 hours of Zooms with alumni giving a helping hand, listening to students, what their questions and problems were, and connecting them with the industry. So these are things we can help. We can't beat COVID, not yet, but EMIs can do anything. So maybe next year. But if your goals are reasonable, you will definitely find a spot for you somewhere.
Is GMAT mandatory, and what is the minimum score to get in?
Yes, it is. Yes. GMAT is, of course, mandatory. You're coming into a program of quality. So, and the GMAT takes time for you to train for. So don't try to train and do your GMAT tomorrow. It's going to take you 3 months of definitely practicing. EMI, and I will shut up after this and let the experts talk. EMIs are numbers, number crunchers. If you can't get those numbers right, you will not be successful on the EMI program. The minimum score will vary depending if you want to do an apprenticeship or if you want to do the internship track, because the apprenticeship track is very difficult when you're working at the same time of going to classes. So Antoine and Bastien, would you like to talk about your fun that you have with numbers, and Bob Kastner among others?
Well, as I said, I love numbers, so that didn't scare me at all. I had other classmates on the other hand, they needed a bit of help at times, but they all survive. I promise, they all survive. And Bob Kastner means well. Don't take it the other way.
Antoine,
what do you have to say about that? You must get that question a lot.
Yes, you need to have a steady preparation on the GMAT. We always recommend you to have a score of 500, 550 to have a competitive application. Yes, apprenticeship is quite hard because you have to work when you are working on your company, and you have a lot of courses relative to figures such as financial accounting, managerial accounting, quantitative methods. So you will find courses relative to the GMAT. So you have to very well prepare this. It takes at least 3 to 4 months of preparations before taking the final exam.
Is there any age limit to apply?
Well, I can take a shot at this one. If you're 70 years old, you might be a little bit older for the program. For the 2-year track, the average age is anywhere between 23 and 26. We will be introducing in September 21 a 1-year track for the older crowd. We're targeting professionals that have several years of experience that would like to top off their education, buy a master's in hospitality on the EMU program 1-year track. The 1-year track, the age limit will vary depending. It could be anywhere between 30 and 35. The 1-year track will also have some classes that they share depending on the major with the 2-year track.
Does the school propose any help to find an apprenticeship? And if yes, what is the percentage of acceptance for the apprenticeship program?
Yes, we do provide help. If you want to be an apprentice, I would advise you to apply for the program as soon as possible, because once you're accepted into the program on the apprentice track, we're going to connect you with, first of all, one team member of the Talent Center that's going to redo your resume with you. We're going to run that through VMOC, and then you're going to start having one-to-ones with the Talent Center to start a focus on where you want to do your apprenticeship and start to contact employers to find your apprenticeship, not only employers that have had apprenticeships in the past, but new avenues to explore as well. In terms of getting into the program on apprenticeship, you need to have a very strong GMAT. Antoine's 550, I would say 550, 600, and we're going to make it even more exclusive for next year. We'll probably only have 1/3 of the participants in the entire program that are apprenticeships because it's that demanding. And we need to make sure your success is our success, and we need to make sure that students on the apprenticeship track are very, very strong.
Are any recommendation letter needed for the application process?
Yes,
that's apparently someone who hasn't read the website. Go ahead, Antoine.
You need 2 letters of recommendation, actually.
Okay. One candidate is currently completing an MBA in hospitality at Vatel, Switzerland, and he or she is wondering if there are people like this student applying for the EMI program as well.
Antoine, is it first year or second year? We have a girl who did an MBA at a school that I will not mention that she didn't feel was good enough quality. So she's with us now doing an MSc. Yes, what do you think about someone who's done an MBA at Vatel?
It's always a complementary. You can add these 2 trainings. There's no issues, actually, I guess.
Regarding the Boston Exchange program, is it possible to do it with the apprentice course?
It's going to be a little bit more difficult. In that case, you would probably need to do the BU exchange in your first year and only do 1 year of the apprenticeship program. but it is possible. You're going to have to either do that or extend the dates with your employer, meaning for the time that you're in Boston, you won't be doing your apprenticeship, but then you'll be doing your apprenticeship for a small period after you're graduated. So we technically graduate you a little bit later. There's always solutions in a nutshell. We can find a solution for you. But your apprenticeship program will not pay for the extra fees for Boston University. We do very aggressive matching scholarships between Boston University and IMHI. And this year, had an IMHI gone to Boston University, they would have paid a total of $13,000 US, knowing that when you're in BU, you can also work 20 hours a week on the campus and you're paid for your internship. So you do actually make enough money to pay your rent and living expenses while you're in Boston.
Is there any specific place you would recommend to take the TOEIC from?
Not especially. You can take the TOEIC from the classic or center, which is, I don't remember, but the first one you find on their website.
How do exams for the second and how do exams for the first and second year work?
It works per trimester. So you have a midterm and final exam each trimester in first year and second year.
What is the median score required for this program?
The median score for which exam? TOEIC, TOEFL, GMAT?
From previous degree.
Okay, whoever answered that question, if you can ask a question that's perhaps a little bit more clear, that's going to be your first steps into IMHI. So can we go to the next question? We're waiting this person to think about a more intelligent question.
How many students do you have in each promotion?
Okay, that's Antoine mentioned 60. That.
Yeah.
Yeah. Write that name down. Next question, Kathy.
Yeah.
Is the diploma different if you choose to specialize with a concentration, or is it the same for everyone?
I can answer that. Technically, the Minister of Education in France prints your diploma with you have an MSc in hospitality from ESSEC. The specialty is with the transcript and the letter that we are going to write for you and put in your envelope with your degree. So the answer is yes and no.
There is a student who has secured an admission at IMHI. Are the students allowed to take up part-time jobs? Does the school help in finding one?
Antoine, you want to tell how that would ever happen with a part-time job at IMHI? How would they ever work?
I guess you can have a part-time job if you are in an internship track, but I recommend you to focus on your studies because there is a high wave of work, so you can't really have a part-time job beside of the program.
Perhaps that person who wants the part-time job should apply for the apprenticeship track, get a good GMAT score, because it's difficult. You're going to have classes, let's say you have classes usually Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because we leave them Monday, Tuesday open for the apprentices to be in their company. So you have classes from 9 a.m. sometimes until 7:30 p.m. Group work and homework to do in addition to that. And Antoine, correct me if I'm wrong, but most of you guys work pretty much all weekend on assignments. So I don't know how you would actually be able to work out doing a part-time job. I can only suggest to maybe go on the apprenticeship program.
How do you balance your life between classes and apprenticeship?
I don't know what would be the perfect answer, but you need to work 2 days a week and balance your schedule to be successful during your program. But we are successful. It's not a pain actually.
What are the criterions for a student to be accepted in apprenticeship? Is it only on demand?
We spoke about this earlier. So GMAT, a good application, and during the interview, a strong argument for how you're going to balance your schoolwork with doing an apprenticeship.
What is the knowledge needed to be accepted in the program, and any professional recommendation to succeed in the interview?
Bastien, Antoine, would you like to take this one?
I think you need to take it like it's like it is a job interview. I mean, it's something serious, obviously. So you need to show that you have interest, that you have passion for that industry, because ultimately, if you get into a program like the IMHI, that's to make a career in that industry. So and that industry is not the easiest one to spend a life in, obviously. So as long as you're passionate, that you show that, and that you have all the other technical requirements that Patti mentioned about, there shouldn't be any problem. And it's down to the same kind of selection that you have when you apply for a job. Unfortunately, in life, not everyone gets it. But if you are one of the lucky one, then you will be able to enjoy it and have a great boost for your career. Trust me, it's worth the effort and the time spent studying, working with others. There was that question from one of the participants regarding the balance between apprenticeship and studies. Obviously, I didn't do the apprentice track, so but the reality is that whether you go in the apprentice track or you go into the normal track, your life kind of has to be put in parentheses for the time you are at IMHI. But take it as a investment for your career, and at a way for you to advance in your career faster than others that may not go through the program. Unfortunately, in life, I have not seen, and so far in my career, I have not seen anything handed to me on a silver platter. If you want something, you have to go for it. And if you go for it with all your heart, all your passion, you're gonna get it. That's how it works. So I guess that would be my answer to that.
How easy or difficult is it to find an apprenticeship during pandemic? And could you explain a little more about the apprenticeship program? What is the difference between the two rhythms?
Okay, so let me just do the technical part. There's no two rhythms. As of September 21, the only rhythm is going Monday, Tuesday in your company, and then over the summer. So the first part of that question was, how difficult is it to find an apprenticeship in the times of COVID? So Antoine explained we have 63 first years, 63 first years, 48 of them were apprenticeship. As of today, I just got the count this morning, only 3 of them have not been placed in apprenticeship. So this is pretty outstanding, and it really is because of the alumni network of IMHI. We have a great team of apprenticeships, but the team of apprenticeships also calls upon IMHI. So it's IMHI extending a hand to other IMHI. Antoine or Bastien, do you have anything to add on? Antoine is more of a student perspective because he's in contact with them.
Actually, this year we had the aid of the government of 8,000 euros. So it was easier to find an apprenticeship regarding the pandemic. And we hope that it will be extended next year. Personally, I changed my company during last summer. So it was quite easier regarding this aid of the government. Maybe it will be the same thing next year. We hope so.
Good plug, Antoine. Macron, are you listening?
Can we apply before having passed the GMAT test?
Why? Can you ask that person why? Why would you apply for a program if you don't have your complete application?
there are 4 rounds, so you have time to send your application. You can apply until July, so you have 4 rounds on April, May, June, and July. So you have time to take your GMAT score and send your application. You won't miss your place.
What are the conditions to enter the apprenticeship program, and what percentage does it represent in the classroom?
Okay, so I'm just wondering if these people have just hopped in on the call or not, because we talked about that earlier, the conditions of apprentice. Antoine was very clear in terms of GMAT. And then the percentage, well, that's going to change each year depending on the GMAT scores and what kind of people we have to apply. As I stated earlier, we have 63 first year, 48 on apprentice, minus 3 that still have not found, so 48 out of 63, and that's because they had strong GMAT. So it really depends. We don't do a hard no or a percentage of people. We look at everybody's individual application and GMATs and their recipe for success.
Do you choose to go to Boston University, or is it the ESSEC who offers you as an option to go to Boston?
Do I choose? Well, if I was to choose, I would make sure everybody went to Boston University. I think it's a wonderful exchange. But it's an option. Antoine, I didn't force anybody to go to the cold of Boston this year, did I? No.
Anybody.
So it is an option if you're up for the challenge and you want a double certificate from an American university and internship in the United States. It's a great program for you.
Is it possible to enter the master's program without having attended a hospitality management program before?
It could be, but you should have a professional experience, not an academic program in hospitality management, but professional experience in the hotel industry is preferred.
It goes back to what Bastien was saying earlier about the word passion. The hospitality industry is an industry of passionate people and passion. And you're going to be asked during your interview, what's your passion? Why? So you should probably have something to back that up.
When will the first year track begin again?
September 21.
How is the interview conducted, and is it in French or in English?
This is an English program, so your interview is what we said with an alumni, a second-year student, and someone from the program. Antoine, would you like to go into some details on that?
Yes, the interview, you need to show your motivation, to explain what can ESSEC bring you, what you want to do after ESSEC, what you did before, and what motivates you to apply to IMHI. It's more a discussion between you and the interviewer to see if you fit really to the program. It's not a trap.
That's a good word, Antoine. It really is it's a fit interview, really. It's a fit discussion. Very good, yeah.
Do we have to have a very precise project for the interview and application, or can we have an idea of the industry we want to integrate?
I'll just take the first part of this, and Antoine, Bastien, if you want to complete this. We had an interview last year with someone who wanted to get into the hospitality industry, who said they were passionate about luxury hotels in Paris. And we asked this person to name a few luxury hotels in Paris that they were passionate about, and they were unable to name even one. So this is a problem during your interview. You need to have some industry knowledge getting into it. Antoine or Bastien, would you like to say anything?
It was complete.
Are classes going to be online in September?
I should hope not. If they do, I think that every student's going to have issues. As of February 8th, we're back on campus. The IMHI program has secured classrooms that are large enough to fit the sections. We limit sections to 35, and we put them in amphitheaters that fit 70 or 80 people. So right now we're in dual mode. The only thing that is online are professors or expert professors that come from around the world that cannot travel. We have 2 professors from Korea that are currently teaching on the program, 1 from Canada, and unfortunately those are online. If we have French-based professors, those are in person. But I cannot predict Corona. We call her Rona. Rona is a crazy thing. We don't know if Rona will develop into other formats and do something else. So I would say I should hope not. We're prepared to offer safe in-person classes if Rona doesn't develop into something else and if our vaccine program continues to work with its current format.
If you have a degree which has been taught in English, do you still have to pass an English proficiency test?
Send us the degree and we'll find out what country that's from, because we've seen some shady things sometimes. And then we have a conversation with someone and they don't understand a word we say. So each application will be studied on its individual merits.
What do you expect from your new students? What kind of profile?
Antoine or Bastien, what would you expect of someone who wants to come into IMHI?
The profiles we're looking for are ambitious and involved in the hotel industry. We want people passionate about the hotel industry and with, as Patti said, with very good knowledge of the hotel industry, very committed to this.
Yeah, I think it's really passion, passion, interest, curiosity, and I think those 3 are really the key thing, and that's something that should follow again. I mean, obviously I'm working, so I'm taking that example through my career. The way that I've been able to go from my first job at Marina Bay Sands in Singapore, then move on to a smaller structure, and now with Hyatt, all the things that I've been able to do is purely because, well, obviously I have good education because I've been to IMHI, thank you IMHI, but it's also because I have continued to show interest, to try to get the opportunity to do additional course. Even now, next week I'm starting a program with eCornell. I think that's something that if you're able to transmit that to the person who is interviewing you, there is, I don't think, any reason you wouldn't be accepted, providing that, again, and Patti will say that again, but that you have all the GMAT, the TOEFL, the etc. Yeah. But beyond that, that's just having those paper is the base, basically. If you have the paper, that's good, but then you need also to show that you are really interested in that industry. And if you're not, don't even try. Don't bother. Honestly, it's forget about it, because you're not gonna like it. You cannot like the hospitality industry if you're not passionate about it, because it's not about being on the beach and in Thailand and drinking cocktail. You're actually working, looking at people enjoying that. So you must feel happy for them being able to enjoy that, not thinking that you will be the one doing that the whole day.
That's very good.
Bastien, Antoine, as per you, what is the best way to prepare the interview?
The best way to prepare your interview is to know the trends in the hospitality industry, to describe well your project, your motivation, to see, yes, what can ESSEC bring you? It's a really good question to prepare, and what you can bring to the program. It's a two-way question, actually.
Yeah, and I guess also what are your strengths wherever you are at, and based on your past experience, what you know are your weaknesses. I mean, everybody has some. The idea is to realize that you have them and to do everything you can to turn that around. So I mean, it's really like you should take it like if you were going for a job interview. I mean, one of the application requirement is to have a bachelor degree or a license or a French BTS. So if you were not going to IMI, you would probably be looking for a job. Now, how would you prepare for that job? Well, you'll the same as you would do for ESSEC IMI.
If you had to choose a word to describe the IMI program, what would it be?
One is not possible. I think you, as I said, you will work hard, you will sweat on things, you will get frustrated at a certain point in time. I saw another, by the way, one of the class that I remember very well is business computing. So you're all gonna become Excel wizard. That's the other great thing. But you're gonna have fun as well. So it's really a mix, and it's exactly what the hospitality industry is after as well. So you really get that early grasp of where you are, the direction you're heading into for your entire life, basically. That's providing coronavirus disappear, because obviously you can't have as much fun, and I guess Antoine could speak about that, but that's probably a bit of a different experience that they unfortunately had to endure since last year.
Of course, I spent a year on Zoom, so it's not the experience I expected when I applied to IMI, but it's even a good experience, actually.
One of the biggest things that employers complain about is that candidates don't know how to deal with the unknown. Well, Antoine has been dealing with the unknown for a year, so I can tell you, he is the one person trained to work in an unknown atmosphere. So these people that are graduating this year are ideal hires because they can handle any situation and they didn't break. So perhaps, Sapna, I'm looking at time, perhaps one last question.
Sure. Is it important to file your application in the first round? Do you have more chances to get in?
Sapna, do you know that your voice sounds like, what is that, Hey Google, or what is Alexa? That's what it sounds like. Hey Alexa, can I have one more question? Alexa, play George Michael. No, in terms of rounds, there's no importance on one round or another. We give rounds so that people have more time to do a proper application with the GMAT and think about getting into the program, but there's no quota per round per se. Apply when you're ready and when you're ready to meet some awesome people in a jury.
Thank you, Patti. Thank you, Antoine. Thank you, Bastien. For the unanswered question, you can reach out to Antoine or Bastien also from LinkedIn. They can help you answer those questions, and the ESSEC team would be happy also to assist you.
Of course. Thank you, Bastien, and thank you, Antoine. You've proved IMI power today. Happy Lunar New Year again, Bastien. Have a good bon appétit, bien sûr, in Hong Kong. And thank you, guys. Antoine, I'll see you soon on campus. No more Zoom.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Take
guys.
care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.